All right, here we go. Skyfactory, episode 6. This episode's gonna be very different compared to the other ones. Unfortunately, while recording the footage for everything, which I think by the end had about 5 hours of footage, while doing the editing process, I noticed that all of that 5-hour footage didn't collect any of the audio from my microphone. Yeah, so no bueno. We did a lot, and it's very upsetting because I think this episode was probably the most productive episode so far. So yeah, there's a lot we did. So I'm just gonna explain everything because I can't work with the footage that we've already collected, all that authenticity that was put into everything that we did. I don't want to fake it, so I'm gonna have to explain because editing with all of that, it's not gonna work. You can hear the game audio, you can hear Haley, you just can't hear me. So, yeah, unfortunately, I can't use any of that footage. So, I'm just gonna explain what we did. We did a lot. We did a lot. If you look at the armor I'm wearing, this is Supremium Armor, right? And if you look here, where it says under Tier 5 augments, flight, we can fly, which is amazing. It kind of changes, it changes the whole game. So that's really what we wanted to get done for episode 6 was to fly. Yes, that took about 5 hours to get done. So instead of that, I'm just going to condense it. I'm going to kind of show you guys what we did get done as simply as possible and as linear as possible. Let me show you some of the things that we made. That'll give you an idea of what's going on. If you look over here, we have this dome, this cathedral-looking dome. I did have a live stream that is on the YouTube. You can still watch it. It has audio. If you want to see that, I did get all the supplies for this, and that's basically what I did. I made this for Haley. She loves it. I wish I could show you the reaction, but unfortunately, don't have that footage. Let me show you the inside real quick. It looks pretty sick. I worked on this off camera, and to build this, I used the schematic cannon. This is what it looks like on the inside. I was thinking on the top of this dome though, to cover it in leaves. As you can see, some of these trapdoors have that already, which kind of looks cool. I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool. I even have this little top here. I might put like a little light source up here. I think that will look pretty sick. I spent a couple hours on this off camera. I created the blueprint, used schematic cannon. Bam. Now we have a whole dome for our precious beetroots, right? So aside from all of this, we did have this setup going. Now this setup, what this is, these are called garden cloches from Immersive Engineering. They're pretty easy to make. So to make one of these things, you need to have glass, these incandescent light bulbs, iron mechanical component, and then a special kind of wooden planks called treated wood. To get these two items here, you need to use a engineer's workbench. To get the engineer's workbench, you need treated wood. So before we had to get all that stuff, we needed treated wood. So to get treated wood, it's just any kind of wood surrounding a bucket of this oil here. To get this oil, we need to use a pyrolyzer, and this is pretty easy to make. Just some Constantin gear, some nether bricks, a machine frame, and a blaze rod. To get the blaze rod, I believe Haley and I did this in the previous episode. If not, to do that, all you gotta do is put a bunch of netherrack into this crushing macerator. We've been doing that and collecting it. We have about 26 right now. Netherrack you can make with just the dyes that we have in our dye farm. So after getting our the pyrolyzer, which we have here, just powered up with some more our with the Sterling generator we have here, and you put some wood in here, it'll burn down and it will create this oil. Use the oil to create these planks, and then you can use the planks to create this table. Engineer's workbench will allow us to create these light bulbs, which is super easy. Just some glass, bamboo, or paper, and copper ingot. And then these mechanical components, which is just iron plate and copper ingot. After creating a whole bunch of these, what we did is we stuffed them over here. So these require power, and they require a water source. So what we did here is We put a water source here, and then next to it, we have this little, we have our aqueous accumulator. This collects water if it's next to a water source. And this will never run out, so this is infinite, pretty much. This is being used to fill these garden cloches. Each garden cloche has one Supremium farmland. So if we go through them all, they all have Supremium farmland. And then along with this Supremium farmland, I think we also had, this stuff here, the Phytogrow. This is really easy to make. This is just sand, this apatite, and this is a byproduct of raw tin. So you stuff this into the pulverizer, which we have back at the hub. This is a 25% chance. So we just crushed up a bunch of the raw tin and got a bunch of this apatite. And then with the apatite, you mix it with some niter, which is another byproduct, I believe, of something else here. Sandstone. It's a 30% chance of giving that back. So farm that, got a bunch of the Phytogrow, and this acts as a source of fertilizer. It just makes this go a whole lot faster. What we had in these garden cloches is Inferium seeds. This is going to produce 2 Inferium. So these are all producing 2 Inferium. They need to be hooked up to power, and they need a water source. So we have the fluid conduits attached to all the garden cloches and the energy conduits. We are using this bioreactor as our source of power. This is pretty easy to make. It's also very effective. So the bioreactor actually needs power, right? So with power and with water and a bunch of dyes, it's going to be making biofuel. Biofuel is going to get pumped into the biofuel generator, and it's going to make power. And as you can see, there's a lot of power in here. So this is what we're using. This is being dispersed into all of the garden cloches. Now, as these produce and produce, we needed a way to store them. And at first, I used a normal chest, a double chest, and it got full really, really fast. So we made one of these spruce diamond barrels, which we have at our back at the base, and I filled it with a stack upgrade tier, and this is going to allow us to get 1,024 per slot of the Inferium essence. And then I put a advanced compacting upgrade into this. As soon as we get 9 Inferium essence, it's going to convert it into a block, as you just saw here. As we get these Inferium blocks, this is where things get a little demonic. If you're not familiar with mystical agriculture, that's basically what we did. We searched this up here, mystical agriculture. First, let me show you the farmland. So we needed the farmland for our garden cloches. This just makes it go by so much faster, so that we're getting more Inferium essence per minute. To make this, it's really easy. It's just farmland, which you can make if you mix these two together. Farmland and a piece of a Supremium essence. Supremium essence is made from a previous tier. So if we look up essence down here, we're gonna have this. So Supremium essence. To make 1 Supremium essence, we need 4 Imperium essence, which is the blue one. To make an Imperium essence, we need 4 tertium essence. Orange to blue, blue to red. To make 1 tertium essence, we need 4 prudentium essence. So it goes tier, 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 tier. And there's still a higher one. There's this Awakened Supremium, which I'm sure we'll get to later down the road. We didn't do any of that. That's above us right now. So after letting this build for a bit, we made some Supremium essence and then turned farmland into the Supremium farmland to shove into these things. Makes it a lot faster. So it just makes it so that we're getting more of this every minute or so. With the blocks, we had to make this thing here. A Master Infusion Crystal. This was really easy to make. Just some Inferium essence, which we're making. Prosperity Shards and Diamond. Prosperity Shards we can make by throwing light blue dye into some Soulfire. Our dye farm is making a whole bunch of these. All we gotta do is grab this, throw it in, and it gives us a stack of prosperity blocks. That'll give us the prosperity shards, and then that will give us this little Master Infusion Crystal. With the Master Infusion Crystal, all of these Inferium blocks we can use to create the Prudentium blocks. Prudentium block, turn that into the Tertium block. Tertium block gives us 1 Imperium block. So 1 stack of Inferium blocks gives us 1 Imperium block. So we had to grab a whole bunch of these blocks, and we have to convert them over and do this over and over and over again and get the Supremium. So these garden cloches, they were running for a really long time. I probably left my computer on, letting it run for a couple hours at a time. I just had these blocks farming in the background because we need a lot, like an ungodly amount. If you are familiar with mystical agriculture, you are probably already familiar with the pain that this mod will bring you. It's pretty miserable, like really miserable. So yeah, that's basically what we did. I mean, all of those blocks that I just used just gave me 30 Imperium. Turn that over, that gives us 7. We did this, we sat here for a while, and we just converted all these blocks over and over and over again until we got a bunch of Supremium blocks. Now that we have the Supremium blocks, what we had to do is we needed to make the armor set. These are all the armor sets. To make a Supremium armor set, you need to make the previous one. So kind of like what we just did, turning the previous essence into the next one and the next one and the next one. You got to do the same thing for the armor. So to make a Supremium helmet, you need the Imperium helmet. You need the Tertium, the Prudentium, and the Inferium. To make the Inferium helmet, you need a diamond helmet, you need Inferium ingot, and Inferium gemstone. So 2 of each to make 1 piece of the helmet. So you need 8 total Inferium ingots, 8 total gemstones, Inferium gemstones, just for the Inferium armor set. Same thing with the Prudentium. You need 8 Prudentium ingot and 8 Prudentium gemstones. And then same thing with the Tertium, same thing with the Imperium, same thing with the Supremium. To make the gemstone, and we'll start with the Inferium gemstone, it's just a Prosperity gemstone and 2 Inferium essence. To make the Prosperity gemstone, it's just the Prosperity shards and a diamond, which we have all of that. Same thing with the Inferium ingot. It's just 2 essence and a Prosperity ingot. Prosperity ingot, we'll be using a piece of iron ingot as opposed to the diamond with some Prosperity shards. Now, thankfully, with the next tier, which is the Prudentium, we don't need to scale this. So instead of creating a previous, let's say an Inferium ingot, we don't need to do that. All we need is a Prosperity ingot and a Prudentium essence. Now, once we have all of the Supremium blocks and all these essence, what we can actually do, turn the block into Supremium essence. 1 Supremium essence, it can go backwards. We don't need to just go forwards. So let's say I needed more tertium, right? Let's say I need tertium. I can use this Supremium essence, turn it into the previous tier. 1 is going to give us 4. Same thing. This Imperium essence, put that into a crafting slot, that's going to give us 4 tertium. So I think working all the way up to a Supremium essence is ideal. Makes it a little easier, but yeah. Okay, so now that we have a full set of Supremium armor, that's awesome. We can't fly yet, unfortunately, because we need an augment of flight. So let's look that up real quick. So right here, this flight augment grants creative flight. Now this right here, we need a couple things for this. First, we need to make infusion altar and some pedestals. Earlier, I did give you a peek at that. That's this over here. Before we discuss that, let me discuss the big problem here, which is these nether stars. So, that brings us to our next big thing. We need to kill some withers. Well, mobs don't spawn naturally in this mod pack. So, we needed to get a bunch of wither skeleton gateways, which we can get a couple different ways. There is a wither gateway. Me and Haley we didn't want to do that. That sounds scary. We didn't want to do that. Alright, so we needed the wither skeleton gateways. You can actually get these from villagers. Yeah, remember all the villagers we had last episode? We kind of formed a little bit of a cult. Well, we stuffed them into a little box. As Haley was saying, we needed to build them a little bit of a dungeon. It's nighttime, so they're all fighting for the bed, which is kind of funny. And to get the wither skeleton gateways, a villager will actually turn into a black pearl trader at a black crafting table. So we stuffed 2 of these black crafting tables down here. So putting 2 of these black crafting tables here, we get, if I can find them. He's lost in the sauce. I actually can't find him. Oh, right here. There you are. Wait. Black pearl. All right, I can pick them up. Yeah, those crafting workbenches, the dyed ones, is going to turn them into their corresponding gate pearl villager. So the black one is going to give us, if we go into his trades, We could probably cycle this. Yeah, Wither Skeleton Gateway. So at first, what we had done, got our Wither Skeleton trophy, which is right here, as you can see. We turned it on, and at first, we kind of just waited. And waited and waited. It turns out they really don't want to spawn. Like, they don't want to spawn at all. So we had to wait till nighttime, and we use our little hammocks over there. I built some fires under Haley's because I thought it would be funny. We use our hammocks, sleep till nighttime, and they will spawn. They really don't want to spawn anywhere except for this dome. Maybe it's because it's an open area. I don't know. Yeah, as they spawn, they would spawn in here. We didn't really have any good weapons at the time. So, aside from this armor, we also made... I called mine Jaded God Killer. This is the Supremium bow. It's the same thing to make the armor. It's just with a bow. I forget what Haley's is called. Next episode, I'll have to show you guys. It's pretty funny. You can actually make the Infinity book with Ender IO Enchanter. It's just a book and quill, some grains of infinity, lapis lazuli, and a bit of experience. That makes it easier to kill these guys. We couldn't fly at the time, so... yeah, we just were kind of shooting them and hoping that we got what we needed. We killed all these guys here, and we kind of just rinsed and repeated it, this whole process, hoping to get the Wither Skeleton skulls. And, is that a chicken? Hey, the chicken. Would you look at that? As we did this and rinse and repeated, we came to the realization that, this was not going to work. Because after you as you just saw, kill all those Wither Skeletons, we didn't get a single head. So we had a couple options. The first one, we could figure out how to get a beheading, which there is. There's actually a beheading enchanted book. You can't make it, so we would have had to have gotten it somehow. And the other option was mob grinding units. This here, mob masher upgrade beheading. Well, let's look into this. And this gives us a whole bunch of stuff. We got some fans, we got some mob masher, which is actually what takes in some of these upgrades. And also this fan takes in some upgrades as well. If we look through these upgrades, we've got some mob fan width upgrades, some distance upgrades, smite, which would actually kill the Wither Skeletons a bit faster. So after having that realization, we made a little bit of an extension to our base. This little elevator here. If we shift click on this, it brings us down to this lower area. Down here, we just create a little bit of a platform. I will get into this in just a second, what this is. And we created this death chamber. As you can see in there, there's a special spike thing. So let me explain what this is. We have all these fans, and if we show the area of these, we had to fill up these fans with some mob fan width upgrades and some mob fan distance upgrades. So one fan to take up this whole area. So we got 3 of these. And let me turn those on to show you the range. All of these are pushing towards the back of this wall. This last bit of area down here is not affected by these fans. So, created more fans. These have distance upgrades. So these fans, when they're turned on, are going to push the mobs here down to this area where this fan is going to push them this way to the mob masher. This fan, same thing, is going to push them. So any mob that's spawned that's not able to fly in here is going to get pushed to this one area, this one block. Now, this mob masher is full of upgrades. 10 mob masher sharpness upgrades, 10 mob masher looting upgrades, 10 mob masher smite upgrades, and 10 mob masher beheading upgrades. Now, making these upgrades was a little bit of work, not much. This one's a little easy. This is just some iron swords, golden nuggets, redstone. The looting is some blue dye, golden nuggets, redstone. The smite upgrades, we needed rotten flesh. Now this one, we actually needed to do a zombie gateway and kill a bunch of zombies. The trophy, if you saw, is at the top of the base. Leave that on for a bit. We farmed zombies, got the rotten flesh. There we go. And then the beheading, we just needed to make some iron helmets and golden helmets. The mob masher itself is pretty easy. It's just a bunch of iron. Iron swords, diamonds, iron block. These iron spikes are just more iron. Fans are also pretty easy. Just some iron, stone slabs, and some redstone. We got that. So basically, we created a death chamber for any kind of mob to just spawn in here, except for flying mobs. Remember earlier I turned on that Wither Skeleton trophy? It was on for a little bit. None of them spawned in here. So after building this, we needed to figure out how now to get our wither skeletons to show up in here. That is where our wither skeleton trader comes in handy. With the wither skeleton pearls that we had gotten from the villager, we needed to make a Titan wither skeleton gateway, which we can actually make. With 4 of the wither skeleton gateway portals and some obsidian, we can get our hands on a Titan wither skeleton gateway. Now, this is different than the regular wither skeleton gateway in that it does not end. It is completely endless, though there are modifiers. So it says here, applies every 3 waves. Every 3 waves now, our wither skeletons are going to gain 15% max health. They're going to gain 1 armor attribute. They're going to get a 25% attack damage boost and a 5% knockback resistance boost. So Haley and I actually discovered that the Titan Wither Skeleton Gateway was endless on accident. We activated it in there, and we didn't realize that the waves were just gonna keep going. So we actually discovered this on accident, and that gave me the idea to build that down there. Now, let me show you how powerful this box is. I'm gonna turn it all on, except for these 2 here, so I don't get sucked into the, there. And we have to place this in a specific spot. If I were to place this right here, in this spot, there is a chance wither skeletons can spawn outside the box. And we don't want that. So right there. Now it's on. We're gonna turn our fans on. And we're gonna see this in action. As soon as they spawn in, they are immediately killed. I mean, instantaneously they are killed. It's beautiful, isn't it? So yeah, we kind of just let this run. There's actually an achievement in our book here. If we look in here. Here, Titan Gateways. Obtain a Titan Gateway Pearl. We've done that. Complete Wave 50 of any Titan Gateway. We did that. Wave 100. Of any Titan Gateway. We did that. Unfortunately, this is not powerful enough to get us to 150. So we'll have to find out a way to boost damage output so that we're able to get there. I believe we got to like 112 or something like that with this setup. There are other ways to increase damage output. So in the future, I mean, we can just upgrade this setup here so that our damage output is enough to get us to 150. Because again, remember, as this goes on every 3 waves, they are gaining more health. They are gaining more armor. They're getting stronger. So we weren't able to get that high. Now that this is on, now that this is doing its thing, you know, we're killing them. If we go to the back of this, we have this here. This absorption hopper, a chest, and a jumbo tank. As you can see here, we have 333 buckets of liquid experience, which is absolutely insane. We'll never need experience ever again. So this absorption hopper, we had to put some upgrades in here. This is collecting everything in the box. It is outputting the experience into the jumbo tank, and it's outputting all the items into this diamond barrel. Letting that run, right now we have 874 wither skeleton skulls. You see how fast that number is going up. We couldn't get any of these when we were just killing them, as I showed you earlier. So this little kill box solved our problem with the wither skeleton skulls. So now that we got our wither skeleton skulls, we needed to kill wither. That is where this little glass chamber comes into play. So what we did is we had to get inside this box here, and we had to make it tall enough so that the wither couldn't just fly out. And this is dark connected glass from Cyclic. It's really easy to make. This glass, it says here, immune to light, explosions, and wither blasts. That's why we have this here. It's really cheap to make too. I changed it over from the tempered dark glass to the dark connected glass. To make the tempered dark glass, you just need to make black stained glass and 1 piece of obsidian. We just made regular glass, changed it to the black stained glass, and there we go. We got the tempered dark glass. I like the design of this better, so we just changed this over to the to this. Yeah, we got a bunch of this glass here, and we made this little box. And as you can see, there's these little openings we got here. And then I kept this one intact because I didn't want Wither to shoot stuff out this way and break the this whole thing over here. Haley and I, what we did, after making the Supremium Sword and the Jaded God Killer, again, this is all to be able to fly. Yeah, this is this in action. After getting all the Wither skeleton skulls, we needed to create Withers. And what I did is I let them spawn, and I just closed this up. run over here like a coward and let him explode. And he kind of just, like, goes up. It's really weird. But if I stand here and I just start attacking, I'm gonna do damage. And there we go. It's a lot faster because I have this strength 3, but what we did is Haley was over there shooting the wither with the bow, and I was over here hitting him with the sword. So we kind of tag teamed him. We did that about 4 times to get 8 of these nether stars. Because remember, we need 4 of the stars to make the flight augment, because Haley needs to fly as well. So now that we have all of our nether stars, we needed to create this infusion crafting setup. It's really easy to make. We need 1 infusion altar. That's what I showed you earlier. I wonder what this is at. Wait, what is this at? We're at 48. Actually, I'm gonna sit here for a second. I'm gonna show you what happens at wave 50. It's kind of funny, and it explains why this is so tall. Now it says incoming enemies 5, which it was 4 up until this point. So it's 5 because it spawns that Jimbo. This at first was not tall enough, and that boss spawned on top of the whole structure. I think we had it maybe like right here. That's why it's so tall. We had to make it taller because once that dude spawned, it wasn't happy and spawned out the box and tried to kill us. We couldn't fly at this point. We were just running around the connected glass trying to kill him. And I'm pretty sure the first time we could not kill him. And the wave ended. But yeah. After getting all the nether stars, we had to create this over here. We needed this infusion altar, and we needed all of these infusion pedestals to make our flight augment. And it's pretty easy to make. You just put the nether stars in these 4 slots and some supremium essence on these 4 slots. In the middle, you put unattuned augment, which is really easy to make. Just some iron and some prosperity shards. Put that in the center here, and then you're gonna slap it with a wand, mystical agriculture wand. This will act as like a redstone signal to activate the whole thing, and that gave us the flight augment. We still can't fly. Can't fly because we need to make another crafting area called a tinkering table. For the tinkering table, we ran into another problem because we need to make RGB essence. To make RGB essence, you need RGB seeds. RGB seeds. So we had to make this first. Some Supremium essence, RGB dye, and some prosperity seed base. This is easy to make. Just some seeds with some prosperity shards around it. Once we got that going, we actually just put it into the cloches. So we got all this essence, which is actually really cool because we can actually turn this into RGB dye. And then the RGB dye, we can actually turn into blocks. So instead of using our farm, we can actually just use these essence to make these blocks. So we can put that in the printer over there and get some resources going. After getting all that stuff, get the Tinker's table. Now with the flight augment that we just made here, and the Tinker's table that we just made, which we've put over here, you combine your armor set, which is going to be the chest piece. Combine the armor with the augment. Bam! Now we can fly. Same thing with this strength 3 augment that we have here. You need to get some Supremium essence, some quartz, and some diamond swords. But you have to make the previous one, which is strength 2. To make strength 2, you need to do the Imperium essence, you need quartz, iron sword, and you need strength 1. So strength 1, you need the unattuned augment, which I showed you earlier, some iron swords, quartz, and tertium essence. So it's kind of like the armor, we had to like tier it up and scale as we go to create the strength 3. That's why we did so much damage against the wither. So yeah, so Haley and I both have the strength 3 Supremium swords. We have our own bows, and we both put infinity on it so that we don't ever have to run out of arrows. And all of that lets us fly. So yeah, that's really it. That's what we wanted to get done. We wanted to fly. All of this took us about 5 hours. Again, I recorded all of it, and as I'm editing all of it, I realized, wait, your microphone didn't get picked up at all. And immediately I was like, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. There were a lot of fun moments that fortunately I'm not going to be able to share them with you because I'm stupid and I didn't check to see microphone was on the correct setting. It just sucks more than anything. You know, I don't get to show you guys, you know, the fun moments we had, but yeah, all of this just to fly. So yeah, that's basically what we got done. We got this dome here. We got this whole death box down here. Now that we can fly, it's going to be a lot easier to decorate the base, which I do want to get started because it looks very weird. It's like you have all this and then this like decorative dome. So yeah, I want to start getting the whole architecture thing going, and kind of making this base come along nicely. I don't know, these villagers look a little happy in there. They're like having a little cult initiation or something, a little bit of a gathering to see how they can take over the base, but it ain't gonna happen. That's episode 6. It's basically what we got done. I just wanted to give you a bit of a rundown and show you all the things that we did. We got a lot of the achievements off the list. We can fly now, which is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's gonna make things a lot easier. So that's awesome. You made it to the end of this. I do appreciate you for watching. I'm having a good time with this series. Haley and I both are having a lot of fun. Hopefully we can get all these achievements off the list and complete the mod pack. I don't know about these last ones over here. That might be above and beyond our capabilities. Draconic Evolution's always fun, very grindy, but we'll be overpowered at that point. Creating dimensions, I mean, it's about to get crazy. It's about to get wicked. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Made it this far. You're awesome. All right, thanks for tuning in. Peace out.